And now we're recording. Cool. So yeah, we don't have the chat. So if you guys have any questions, I mean, it's only the 3 or 4 of us, so you can just pop in and ask them. Has everyone played Portal before?
I haven't, but I
I
kind of know
have.
what it looks like.
You understand the premise of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, the way it works is you can create 2 portals. Let's put one on like right there, and you enter the portal. You can see what the other portal's looking at. See, I can see me up there, and then you transport through the portal. So you can get these cool effects like, where's a good one? Like, if I do this, you can see yourself entering the other portal, and you get these cool loops going on. So we're going to break down pretty much just how you build this mechanic today. So for a time saver, Filebase has a 3D character controller that just kind of works and runs. Ooh, I have my gravity set really low. But it just kind of works and runs. So I built it out with that. If I was building it from scratch, I would use a rigid body controller because um, this handles its own gravity and stuff, but it kind of isn't as. I mean, the whole point of Portal is it's physics based game, so I would use a rigid body system just for the controller. But all I'm really showing off is how to build these 2 portals here. So yeah, let's get started.
Good thing Dylan's here. Instructions on how to rip off things. Whole franchises.
um, all right, so I'm going to let's see. We're just gonna start from scratch. We're gonna delete this. Wish me luck. I didn't prefab it. I should probably prefab this stuff out just in case I forget a step along the way. Portal Workshop. Create new folder, prefab. And we are going to drop the blue portal and the orange portal in. Okay. I'll keep my little environment I made up. Just so we have something to walk around. And then I'll show you guys how to do that. So cool. Alright, so we've got this little blank environment. You can use whatever you want. I use Pro Builder for this. It's a cool little add-on you can use that makes it work more like a 3D like Blender or Maya. So if you open the Pro Builder window, I can like grab things like this and I can pull them out really quickly. So that's just how I made the environment. In case you want to make something similar. But alright, so let's kind of break this down. We need to be able to create 2 portals. We're basically we're changing our transform to the position of the other portals when we enter them. And then we need to be able to see what the other portal's seeing, right? So let's make a portal first. I just made a cylinder, flipped it on its side. It's going to be, I think I did it on the Y. Nope. On the Z. Sure. Its scale. I brought its Z scale way down to get something a little more flat. We could try like a 0.1, 0.05 might be nice. 0.01 maybe. There we go. Looks good. It's got a capsule collider on it. I was using just a box collider, but we may be able to make this work. Bring the radius down, bring the height up maybe. Nah, I don't like it. Remove component. Alright, we'll get to the colliders later. Let's just start. We got this guy here. We want to bring him up on the, fat portal. On the X a little bit. And got a decent looking portal there. What I then did So we're going to create a couple materials here. Okay. Call this material. There it is. I'm going to just call it blue matte. This will be for the blue portal. Change the albedo to blue. And then I add an emission to it. Emission blue. And then I really just pumped up the HDR to make it nice and bright. Okay. Pop that right on there. Great. I'm going to duplicate you. Pull it over. And we'll make another material called orange matte. Boom. Same deal. Go back. Really pump up that HDR. And let's see, we want that a little more orangey. Something like that. I think it's nice. And we'll pull down that. There, we got our blue and our orange. Okay. So I'm using these kind of as an outline for them. We're going to create two empties here. Let's zero them out. And we'll call this one blue portal. And we'll duplicate that. Come on. And we'll call this one orange portal. Okay. This guy will live in here. That guy will hang out in there. Make sure these guys are zeroed out. And you need to be zeroed out. Okay. See where we're sitting at. Alright, there we go. Blue. Orange. They're sitting on the wall over here. Or close-ish to the wall. Now we can actually... Here, we're going to want to do... I called this rename. I called it outline. And rename outline. Okay. I'm going to duplicate this guy. I actually called it portal because it's the portal we're actually going to be looking into. You can pull it out just a smidge. And you know what? We're actually going to delete the blue portal. It'll make more sense just to build one out and then duplicate them. Alright. Whoops, not what we wanted. Alright, we're going to pull them out just a smidge. Oops. I'm using an add-on here. Let's turn that off. Now we want to pull it out just a smidge. Just like that. We're going to scale it down. Not like that. There we go. And for now, let's just throw a different material on it. Anything will work. There we go. Now we can kind of see what we're looking at. Okay, cool. So that's what our portal is going to look like. Looking good. Now the trick is, and let's, I just went into Filebase, open, and then under, I think it's called extensions or systems or something like that, there's a third person controller. Extensions, controls, and I just picked him, first person controller. We can go ahead, prefabs, we can just pull him right into the scene. There we go. Now we get a guy. I didn't like how short he was, so I made him a little taller. I think I put him at like 1.5. And he should work right out of the box. If I hit play, I can walk around. We're good to go. We got our tiny little baby portal. We'll make that bigger. Okay. Okay, so we can take this size now and we can pump it up to like, let's do twice the size. Take a look at it from the player's view. I'd say that looks pretty good. Okay. So what do we got here? We got an outline. We got a portal, which is going to have that material on it. And then the last thing we're going to need on here is we can just add I did a box collider. I pulled the center. Let's see. Let's get this. Whoops. This Z size. Nope. X size. Down. Let me just make sure everything's sitting pretty here. Okay, cool. X size is down. And then I just kind of pulled it out front. So it would be Z, I believe. Nope. X again. Pulled it out front here. And there's one more thing we have to do. If we click on here, you see how our forward position is that blue arrow. We want our portal and our outline to actually match that. So let's go to 90 there. And 90 there. There we go. Ooh, I didn't like that. It's because they're sitting right in front of each other. And we want 89.97. Not sure how that happened. Great. Okay, that portal needs to come forward just a smidge again. There we go. We're looking good again. Okay, there we go. Now if we look at our orange portal, everything's facing forward. That's why I was wondering why we were doing X for that. That didn't seem to make any sense. So we're just going to remove this. Add component, box collider. And then we can quickly do it this way. Pull you forward to the very back. Pull you out to about there. We want to give it like a good kind of leeway for being able to hit it. You don't want to actually be directly in it. And the top and bottom don't really matter, because if you clip it, it just feels a little disorienting. Like if you barely bump it like this and suddenly you get teleported. You definitely want it. Let's look at it one more time. I would even bring these in a bit. You definitely want to be kind of in the meat of the portal there in order to get teleported. Alright. I like that. Cool. Alright. So we have a portal. We're going to duplicate this now. We're going to call this, whoops, our blue portal. And then all we have to do is real quickly change the outline to a blue material. And whoops, we want to make sure we're grabbing the whole portal. Okay. So we got two portals. Is that as off-centered as it looks? Kinda. Let's just pull this over a little more. Nope, not like that. A little like that. That looks better. Do the same over here. Alright, that looks better. Okay, we got two portals here. So how the heck are we going to see what the other portal's looking at? Well, we're going to need a camera, right? Because we need to be able to see something. And let's see. That should be actually solid right there. We want it just kind of projecting straight out. So when we're here, we're seeing that. So we'll add a camera there. We'll add a camera on the blue one as well. Boom. There we go. Alright, we got two cameras. Real quick, we want to take these and we want to change the displays for them. That way it's not overriding our player camera. So we'll do display 2 and display 3. So now if we want to see what they're looking at, we can actually jump down here in the different displays. Cool. So how do we set those cameras as a material is the question. It's actually pretty easy. We'll come down here. Where my materials go? These are all old from my other project. We can delete these. Nope, we can't. Hold on, let me reassign these. Orange portal. Missing material. I've still got a blue and an orange sitting around. Admittedly, the other orange does not look as good as the one we just made. I should probably fix that. Outline. Go to orange. Let's just grab this while we're here. And we need to set this to orange. Be a little darker. There we go. That looks good. Alright. Blue and orange. We're back. Delete you. Yes. Alright. And delete you. So, we're going to come into our materials here, and we want to create a new render texture. So a render texture can actually be updated at runtime. So we will call this, we'll just call it camera 1, and we'll create a new render texture called camera 2. If we can find it. There it is. Camera 2. Great. So what do we do with these? Well, if we click on our cameras here, you can see we actually have a target texture we can output to. So we can take that target texture and we can go ahead and say camera 2 for the blue and camera 1 for the orange. Now if we take this camera 1 and we drop it on there, we should be seeing, let's see, did I put that on the wrong one? I may have. Where's my camera facing the wrong way? Okay, so it looks like camera 1 is going to go to blue, and camera 2 should be going to this one. And it looks like our camera is a little off-centered here. So let's look at the camera, see what's going on with the rotation. And we can actually match it up with these. Check this out. Display. Oh, where'd they go? Display 3? I swear I just put those on those. Let's see. So I've got a camera here. I think we can go assets. Move to view. Not what I wanted to do. Align with view. Not quite. Okay. So, let's see. So we should be seeing that in this camera. And it looks sideways. So let's try rotating the camera and let's see what that does for us. Okay, so it looks like this one needs to be at -90. And vice versa. This camera should be at possibly 90. Nope, -90. Alright, there we go. So when we're looking out, and you can see that camera's looking at what that material is showing what this camera's looking at, and the other way around. So when I'm real close there, you can see what that camera's seeing, and like that. So now all we have to do is set up the logic for it. So I mean, most of it was actually accomplished in the editor, which is always nice. But let's make it work now. So the first thing we need to do is we got to get to these deals, and we want to make them triggers. All right. And we're going to make some logic for our portals here. So we can call this portal, calling it portal 2, because I already have a portal script. Create and add. That, and we want to go ahead and edit it. Okay. So there's a couple things we need to grab here. If you have played Portal, the way this works is you can put the portals down separately. But if you don't have two portals up, it obviously doesn't know what to look for, right? It doesn't have anything to look out of. So we just keep it the solid color, blue or orange. So we're gonna need to be able to turn off this right here, right? The material. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll grab reference to it. So we'll just say serialize field. We'll call this portal. Whoops. This will be a game object called portal. Okay, we need to have reference to the other portal, so we'll make a game serialize this field. We'll just do it this way. So we'll have a portal, and we'll have other portal. Actually, I want to call logic on it, so let's do this. We're going to have a portal called other portal. That way we can just grab the transform off of that if we need to. Okay. Anything else? I'm changing what I did before because we had the mesh render. We don't need to worry about that. I think we're pretty good. Cool. So, a couple things need to happen here. We're going to delete all this, and we're going to start on enable. Because we're going to be enabling and disabling these portals. So, every time this thing is enabled, we want to check if the other portal dot game object dot, I think it's, there we go, is active in hierarchy. So it's going to check, is the other game object, this other portal that we're going to assign in the inspector. It's going to say, hey, are you active? And if you are, we should, let's see, we should make sure that the other one is enabled. So we can go other portal dot, we're going to have to make another method for this real quick. So we'll come down here, we'll make a public void, whoops, public void, we'll call it enable portal material. Enable portal map. Great. And all we're going to be doing is, if we call this enable portal map, we will be taking portal and dot set active to true. Okay. So now, if this gets enabled and the other one is active, we're gonna set this one to true, and we'll set the other one to true. So we can go other portal dot enable. What do I call it? Enable. Why aren't you showing up? Enable portal match. Other portal, which is a portal dot enable. Interesting. Enable portal mat should work. Does not no accessible method. We got a public void. We're within the deal. Oh, I know why, team. Because we're on portal 2. There we go. All right. So we'll take the other portal and we'll enable the portal mat. And we'll go ahead and just enable this portal mat while we're at it. Great. And else, we're going We're going to pass in a bool for this. Bool. Enabled. There we go. Now we can just use one function to call them both. So we'll go set that to enabled, and we'll set this to true. True. And if the other portal isn't in the hierarchy, we'll set it to false. So we can go other portal dot enable portal mat false. Boom. Alrighty, let's see if this works. We're gonna have to assign it in each of the portals. Make sure we have a portal script on here. Portal 2. Portal 2. Okay, so portal will be this. Other portal will be blue portal. And then portal will be portal. Other portal will be orange portal. So when we start it, everything should be running as usual. Whoops. Don't want to be a max screen. Maximize on play. Pull that off. We'll start it. And then we'll disable both of them. Come here. Turn on the orange one. Why is the orange one blue? That's suspicious. Did I name them wrong? Nice. And it didn't work, so let's see what's going on. Orange portal. Blue portal. Let's fix that. Come on. Orange portal. And rename you to blue portal. Great. Okay. Let's see. Blue portal. Orange portal. Orange portal. Blue portal. Sweet. Alright, so this is on enable. If the other one isn't enabled, it should be setting that to false. Let's see why not. Are we getting anything in the console? There's too many audio listeners in the scene. We can fix that. It gets upset if you have more than one camera with an audio listener, so we'll just remove those components. I doubt that would be what's messing us up, though. Come in. I'm probably checking for the wrong deal enabled. Okay. Interesting. And what's it looking at? Okay. Let's see what we did. Portal. Okay, so if other portal dot game object dot active in hierarchy, then we are going to other portal dot set to true and our portal dot set to true. Otherwise, oh, that's why we're setting the other portal to false. That's my bad. We want to set our portal to false. Oops, we don't even have to do that. We can just do. There we go. And let me just make sure I'm doing that correctly. In here, we're portal.setActive enabled. Okay. Let's give it another shot. You're off, you're off. These will only be turning off at the same time, so we don't have to worry about that. Great. There we go. And then if I turn this one, it should trigger the other one on. Perfect. So we're in business there. As far as that goes, now we just need to do collision. So, or not collision, I'm sorry, but triggers. Portal 2. So, next thing we have to check is if the player hits it. So we can do an on trigger, enter. And we're going to check if other dot compare tag player, then what do we want to do? We were gonna want to set the player's transform position. So we'll go other dot transform dot position. is equal to the other portal's position, which will be other portal dot transform dot position. And then same with rotation, other dot transform dot rotation is equal to other portal dot transform dot rotation. Now let's take a look and see if this works. So when I hit the trigger, and I already know it's not going to work because I just realized I have no rigid bodies on anything. So when I hit the trigger, I'm going right through. So we'll come up to this orange portal right here. We're going to put a rigid body on it. And we need to make sure it is kinematic. It's fine. Blue portal, add component, rigid body, kinematic, so no outside forces affect it. Let's see if that works. Doesn't want to go, and I think I know why, but we're about to see. Alright, so let's debug and figure this out. For starters, oh, I didn't tag myself player. That's going to be half of the battle. So we'll tag ourselves player. Cool. Looks like that worked. But that one didn't work. And I know why. And it's a weird thing with the character controller. See, if you see my position's getting turned around, but I'm not actually leaving there. The character controller works separately. It works kind of on its own update loop, and it gets upset if you are modifying position outside of what it's doing, and it'll set it back to its original position. It kind of caches that. We fixed that. If you're using a rigid body, you'll never have this issue. It's just specifically on the character controller. And you fix that, and this is... Hopefully this sticks in your brain, because one day you're going to be doing the same thing where you're trying to teleport something. You have no idea why it's not moving. It's called physics dot sync transforms. Basically, it's going to talk to the physics system, and it's going to sync where everything is. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. Hopefully that fixes it. Nice. Okay. So can anyone figure out why the heck it's doing that? Any ideas?
Because you're hitting the collider of the other one, and then you're just moving back and forth, I guess.
Exactly.
No delay.
Exactly. So we've got options. We could, one, make a coroutine that just shuts it off, or just some sort of logic that shuts off the collider briefly when we come through so we can miss it. But I think a simpler option is just to, we'll give it a little bit of an offset when we come out. So what we can do is other transform.position, and then we can just multiply that by other portal.transform.forward, and then like times, that might be a little much, times 5. Or times 3. Are you happy? Why are you unhappy? Can't multiply. Oops, because we want to add. There we go. So we'll just add a little offset. So we'll take whatever its forward direction is, we'll multiply it by 3, so it'll pop us out in front of it. And it's important we do the forward direction because that updates with its rotation. So if it was on the floor, it would pop us 3 above. Let's see if that works. Looking like it. Just to make sure this is actually working, let's do a little more drastic. Whoa, not what I wanted. Alright, we're here, we hop in, and we're on the other side. Great. Okay. So the portal's done. Portal works great. Pretty much doing everything we wanted to. Now we just need to be able to launch the portals and make them stick on the wall, right? So first thing I want to do is let's make a crosshair for our player. Because the mouse, if you notice, isn't always the center of the screen. So as it wraps around, the mouse kind of gets lost there. But we do need a center of our screen. So really easy. I'm just going to make a real simple one. I'll just create a UI image. Let's see, that's zeroed out. Let's go, I don't know, maybe 10 by 10. Let's color it red. And let's make sure that should be centered on the screen. My browser isn't quite pulled over. Yeah, so that's centered on the screen. So real easy crosshair right there. Done. We can even make it a little smaller than that. Let's go 5 by 5. Okay. Because we're going to be launching a ray out through the center, and we want to know exactly where the center is. So that works great. Alright. So let's hop back on our controller, and we're going to make our portal gun 2. Okay. Portal gun 2. We're going to want to edit this script. Okay. And let me just pull my other one up real quick, so I don't have to go searching for the exact method I use. Portal gun. There it is. Okay, portal gun 2 can come over here. Alrighty. So there's 3 different things that we need our portal gun to do. It needs to shoot the blue portal, shoot the orange portal, and destroy or disable both portals, depending on different mouse buttons. So let's start with just shooting the first portal. So we're going to do if input dot get key down. I'm sorry. Get mouse down. Mouse button down. When you're using mouse, 0 is going to be left click, 1 is going to be right click, and 2 is going to be middle button click. If input dot get mouse button down, what are we going to do? We're going to draw a ray. So the first thing we need to do is actually get a hold of our camera. So there's a method called camera current, but it actually didn't want to work for me earlier. So I got frustrated with it, and I just serialized it. So we're just going to do the same thing. Do a camera called cam. Okay. So if we press the left mouse button, we're going to need to create a ray called ray. And that's equal to cam dot viewport to ray. Where are you? There it is. Viewport point to ray. I think that's the one we want. Yeah, so what it's going to take is it's going to take a point from your viewport, and it's going to cast a ray directly forward. We're going to pass in, and it takes the parameters of a vector 3 position, and then you can check if it's a mono or stereoscopic eye. We don't need to worry about that. We're just going to put in the position. And the position is going to be 0.5, 0.50. And that's going to be halfway across the screen from the left and halfway across the screen from down. So it'll give us a dead point in the middle. So we'll go new vector 3. .5, comma, 0.5, 0.5f, 0.5f, and 0 on the z because we don't want to do anything with that. So this is going to cast a ray out from the middle of our camera straight ahead. Then we want an out for that, so we'll do a raycast hit. Call it hit. Okay, and then we check if raycast. I'm sorry, if physics.raycast. Ray. And then we want our out to be that hit. Then we are going to, what are we doing? We'll do our orange portal. We'll set orange portal. Oh, that's one other thing. We're going to have to grab reference to our two portals. So we can just go game object. We'll go orange portal and blue portal. Serialize that. Okay. If get mouse button down, we'll put out our raycast, and then we can just orange portal dot set active to true. Okay. We're going to want to set the position of the orange portal dot set position. Oops. Dot transform dot position is equal to where that hit, and we want to get the point of it, right? So wherever that raycast bumps into, if it hits the wall, it's going to return on hit point. It's going to return that that point. Now the tricky part is, let's just we can just go ahead. Let's just run it like this. We have, depending on what wall we hit, we have a constant. Hold on, I gotta go in here. Go through our portals in, and the camera in. So camera is right here, main camera, orange portal, blue portal. Okay. You see how if we're going on this wall, everything looks great. But if we're going on this wall, right, the rotation's all the same. And it's because I didn't set the rotation. But at the same time, over here needs a different rotation than if I go over here, etc., etc. I don't know why I'm constantly moving. This is bizarre. Make sure I didn't do anything. I think that was a bug. Okay, we're good. So we need to figure out what direction the wall's facing that we hit, right? So the way to do that is, if you're familiar with anything in 3D modeling or anything kind of 3D, these walls are called normals, right? A normal is basically the direction a shape, or the direction a face is facing is its normal, which they're always facing out. And we can actually grab that normal in our script. So if we go to Portal 2 here. I'm sorry, not Portal 2. Portal Gun 2. Where are you at? Come on. There it is. So what we're going to want to do here is we can set the orange portal dot transform dot rotation to quaternion dot from to rotation. So we're going to rotate it, right? We're taking it from one rotation to another because we're dealing with quaternions here. We can't just put in the quaternions because it's very complex math. So we're going to want to take it from our transform dot forward, and we're going to want to rotate to the hit dot normal. So now our forward is going to line up with that hit dot normals forward. And then we need to multiply that by transform dot rotation. So it's gonna we'll line up those forwards together, and then we'll put the rest of our rotation in with it. Let's give that a save and see how that goes. Should work. Okay, there we go. So now, depending on the normals, we're always going to have it facing the correct way. Blue one's real simple. We're going to do the exact same thing. I can literally just copy and paste this guy. Change everything to blue in it. So from orange portal to blue portal.
Mickey, where's your goddamn wish list?
Someone's got their mic on, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. Blue portal, blue portal, blue portal. And then we want to change it on a right click, which should be 1. Cool. So now my right click sets my blue. Left click sets my orange. Let's make sure they're actually working. So if I want to like get up there, and you can see everything's going perfectly on our crosshair here, we can just pop right up there. You can go, let's see. Hold on. There we go. Is it giving me that glitch again? Alright. It really doesn't like the character controller on the ground. You gotta make the, that was something I ran into earlier, is you gotta actually make the front of these portals really big. It has to do with the character controller. Like I said, if I had a little more time, I'd be building it with a custom rigid body, but this one's just for time's sake. So let's see what we got here. If we go down to, or if we go to our, come here, our box collider. Let's edit the collider. And we're just going to make it a lot beefier like that. We'll do the same with the orange. Find, edit collider, and make it a lot beefier. That should fix it. There we go. And then the last thing, just kind of as a cleanup, is workshop portal. Whoops. Come on. Is if we hit the middle button, I just want both of the portals to go away. So we can go if input dot get mouse button down. It'll be 3. And we're just going to blue dot set and set active to false. Orange dot set active to false. And then I like starting it with both of the portals off. Turn you off. Turn you off. And there we go. We got a working portal game.
Cool.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
Gives us orange. There we go. They light up. And then, ooh, this actually isn't working for some reason. Let's see. Blue portal dot set active. Orange portal dot set active. Oh, because that needs to be a 2, not a 3. Anybody have any questions on that? Any comments? Anything they'd like to see done differently?
Can you explain the teleportation part again?
Yeah.
Because yeah, I'm still confused on that.
So basically, all that's happening is when I run into it, there's a trigger on here. And here, let's go to blue portal. So you see this trigger on here, right? When my player hits that trigger, so it's checking an on trigger enter, all it's going to do is change the player's position to the other portal's position.
Oh, okay.
Which was
Would it
up
be
there.
possible to set it up for like other objects other than the player, I guess?
Yeah, so check this out. If we just take let's do something cool. Let's do we can do an interface. So we haven't used interfaces before. Basically, it works similarly to an abstract class where it forces you to. It's gonna force you to implement something on it, but we can actually use it almost like a tag. So what we'll do here is we'll make a thing and we'll call it iTeleport. You always put I in front of the interfaces. That's just how you know it's an interface. It's an organizational thing. And then let's see if I remember how to do this. I think it's going to be a public interface iTeleport. I don't think it can inherit from monobehavior. So it'll just be this iTeleport. And then it can't have a definition. So basically, you could tell it to, you could say it has a, I don't know, it has a die method on it. So we can set variables in here. So we could set like float speed, just like very similarly to an abstract class, float speed, etc. And then you could do a, I think you do a private void, stop that, void die like that. If I'm remembering correctly, what are you upset about? Cannot contain fields. Oh, okay, cool. Never mind then. So, so what you can do is you can put like a void die, void damage, stuff like that. And then I can make a script called whatever I want to call it. Like if I put it on my Portal 2 script, I can actually inherit from that interface. So you do monobehavior, comma, what do we call it? iTeleport, which is an interface. And now it's going to throw me a bunch of errors here. It's going to say, does not implement interface die, does not implement interface damage. So it's saying that it's not going to let me compile the script unless I make a void die, what is it, capital die like that, and a void damage. And then that should clear. Let me save. Because it's not public. There we go. It's got to be public. Public void die. Public void damage. And that's going to clear that up. So that's what it's used for. It's if you want to make sure like every enemy needs to have a die function on it, but they're all going to be different. This forces implementation. But another cool thing we can use them for, and if we go back into iTeleport, we can actually just kill that out, is there we go, is we can actually check if it inherits or if it implements that interface. So if we go into, I mean, tags would probably be an easier way to do it, but I figure I can just show you guys an extra little deal here. So we're going to create, we're going to go into the portal 2. And now we're going to say if other dot get component iTeleport, and then we can run that. I believe it cannot. Oh, I'm sorry. If iTeleport is not equal to null, So basically, it's going to get that component. It's going to try and get that component on whatever it collides with. And if it's not equal to null, then we're going to go ahead and do this logic. So check this out. We could have, like, if we wanted to have a bunch of different logic, but we didn't want to use the tag system because we were using it somewhere else or whatever, we could have a bunch of scripts in here called create script ball, and we'll just create a script called, I don't know, enemy, right? So we have all these different things, and we only want specific things to teleport through, though, right? So this ball could have, you know, all of its different logic on it. But as long as it inherits from iTeleport, we can actually check. We can check for iTeleport on it and make sure that it can teleport. So now we can have all these different deals going on. We can have this enemy script do the same thing. iTeleport. So now let's go ahead and we'll throw in a sphere. And we'll throw in a cube. Throw some rigid bodies on them. And then let's do, we'll make this one the enemy. And this one the ball. But since they're both inheriting from that iTeleport, oops, let's do that, and let's do that and that, and see if my character controller can actually kick the ball. I don't think it can, right, because it's not rigid body, but we can get up here, and we can go like that, and there we go. So it's detecting now whether it has that interface on it or not. And we can also, we're just going to cheat here. So character controllers are really nice because they don't actually interact with physics, so you can make everything react exactly how you want it to. But it takes a lot of effort to set them up, and you got to check for collisions and stuff like that. But we can totally cheat the system by making a child. Create. We'll just put a cube out here in front of me. Make it kinematic. Throw a rigid body on it. Make it kinematic, and now we can actually push that ball around. I want to turn the mesh renderer off so we aren't looking at it. And let me make sure that's actually rotating with me. Yeah. Okay, so now we can push stuff around. Oh, my cube's behind me. It's like I'm playing hockey with it now. But we can still push it around. And if we get it in the damn portal, there we go. It'll go through. And now you'll see I'm actually not teleporting because I'm not implementing that iTeleport.
Cool.
Nice.
So with
then
that, you.
Oh, so,
No, go.
so the interface was just used as a tag, but
Yeah, but the cool thing is you
okay.
can stack interfaces. So I could have an iTeleport, an iDamageable, an whatever you want. You could put 5 or 6 of them. So it creates this almost like plug and play atmosphere where you can just on the fly check if it has one of those interfaces on, and if it does, then you know it's implementing whatever you told it to implement. If it's damageable, that means it has to have a damage function and you can damage it. And it has to have a health bar. Does that make sense? Because we can force implementation with it, but we can also just kind of use it as a tag system as well. And then the simplest way, obviously, we would just make a tag called teleport. And we just put it on anything we want to teleport. Or we could check for a rigid body on the component and only teleport things with rigid bodies. Tons of different ways to do it. Any other questions, comments, ideas?
So with that, could you actually do like certain like the with that implementation, would you be able to actually do the physics puzzles where it's like, okay, drop like fall through, launch yourself, fall through again, and then build up momentum to kind of launch yourself at a distance, or would you need kind of more work for that?
You totally could,
Kinda make it
especially if we're using a rigid body controller.
Mhm.
Because that velocity is going to continue.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why the physics system. That's why I don't like that I had to do it with I didn't have to do it, but I wanted to get it done quickly today. So
Mhm.
I'd rather do it with a rigid body controller, and you're adding force, and you can affect the velocity and stuff like that. That way, the velocity is actually carrying through. I mean,
Mhm.
even right here, like let's see if we get dropped here, you will see us like because gravity is actually the only force that we're having enacted on us right now. But you can watch us speed up. Hold on, let me put this back in the full screen. No, right there.
Okay.
Oh,
Do
you know
the
what?
infinite loop.
I need to make myself. Hold on, I gotta change logic. Change it back to player. Where the heck are the portals? Portal 2. We're checking if other dot. Compare tag. Player. Or let's just do teleport. What do we call it? Teleport. Teleport. Okay. Then we need to tag this guy's teleport. Whoa. Okay. Almost there. Nope. Hold on. There. Oh, no. Almost there. There we go. And it was getting to the point before, if you can get it going consistently enough, where it was eventually throwing me out of the map because it was freaking out so much. Let's try from here. And yeah, I mean, with the rigid body system, it should be carrying momentum, so you should be pretty solid with that. With this, the only force enacted on it right now is going down, so that's our biggest issue. So, like, getting that forward launch from it, I don't think is going to be possible with this system, but, oh.
You see. Additionally, I guess a follow-up question would be, what would go into it, because at this point, what it's doing is that if you're on contact with it, it will just teleport you to the other one's position. What would actually be required to do the thing where it's like you can stand in between two portals?
I was thinking about that actually because I was like, can I find a way to implement that?
Because it seems like it's basically making new geometry when it does that, or warped geometry when you do that.
Right. There's I forget the term for it, but there's basically where you're like, it's like the Mary Poppins bag effect, right? Where you can like go into a room.
Hammer space.
Yeah, and I've seen people do it before. I don't know what they're doing behind the scenes for it, but it's definitely possible.
I see.
But yeah, the simplest implementation is just going to be teleporting. But yeah, I saw a sweet video the other day of someone made a portal system like this, but they were using that, and they were able to pull a truck like halfway through it. Looks super
cool. And it's another. You ever seen Superliminal? Different kind of concept in regards to mechanics, but another interesting like how they like a thing to pick apart how they actually make the mechanics work. Have you ever seen that one?
I don't think so.
It's an indie game that came out like a couple in November. And the idea is basically things scale depending on perspective.
Oh, I played that a long. So they had a little tech demo a really long time ago. It's like you pick up a chair and you like pull it in the other room, and depending on your and then you let go of it and it stays the giant size. Yeah.
I remember seeing that, and then it became a game like a month or so ago. But yeah, that was another one that was like interesting. I'd be interested to know how the heck they did that.
Yeah,
in regards to
there's
how it
another
determines
cool one. John
proper scale.
John and Ala put it on. I'm gonna stop my recording here because now we're just chatting.